Hi, I'm Dr. Anne Sylvestre with Focus and Flourish. Recently, somebody asked me if I could show how I measure a splint for a splinted bandage on a patient that I wish to see walk on their paw rather than on the splint. I do like to use this walking style splint whenever I can. I use it a fair bit, and in the video, I describe to you when and why I use it. Enjoy the video. And if you do enjoy the video, please hit the like button. It really helps me to get the videos rated so others like yourself will be able to easily find it. Thank you. Most commonly, I find I use this type of splint in small dogs with a radius ulna fracture, a healing radius ulna fracture. So the first thing I'm going to do before I bandage the paw is measure the length of the splint. Now, because I want the patient to walk on this paw, that usually means there's a certain amount of healing happening in the fracture or whatever the reason may be that you are applying a walking splint. So they don't need quite so much support. For this reason, I am going to make sure that my splint comes from below the olecranon on the ulna, so we don't have to worry about the splint fitting and creating sores on the olecranon, because that can become a big issue. And in order for my patient to be able to walk on their paw, I am going to make sure that my splint terminates just proximal to that very large metacarpal pad that they tend to walk on. When they would be weight bearing on the paw, that the splint isn't going to be touching the pad or causing maybe some irritation to the pad. The last thing you want to have to deal with are sores created by your bandage, by your splint. We then use a pair of bandage scissors to cut that tongue depressor to the appropriate length. To effectively cut the tongue depressor, it's easier to do two V-shaped cuts like you see, and then just cut the tip off, because if you go all the way around, often the tongue depressor will splinter. And we always tape it, because the cut edges, especially of the tongue depressor, can be very irritating and can be sharp. We will tape it again just to help soften the edges a little bit. Of course, if you're following this channel, you know that I will not pass up an opportunity to one more time state what order each bandage layer should be applied. Now that we've measured our tongue depressor splint, we are going to apply the cotton padding layer. And in this little dog, I will do a 1 up and back down, and that's all I need for this little guy. We'll follow it with the cling layer, again 1 up and 1 down, and with that I will apply the tension necessary on this bandage to hold everything in place, and then I will tape my splint in place. Some people like to cling wrap the splint in place. That's absolutely fine, whatever works for you. And finally, I will add the vet wrap layer. Never pass up the opportunity to make a bandage look really pretty. Trust me, clients really appreciate that. It seems to soften the blow a little bit of having to go through what they're going through. So when do I use this shortened splint bandaging technique? There's 2 main reasons that I'll use it. The most common one is when I wish to augment a fracture repair that I just did. What do I mean by that? I have a little dog with a fractured radius ulna, because this is the most common place I use this type of splint, and I have repaired the fracture with the plate and screws. Now, the problem with these little dogs and their radius ulna fractures is if your plating technique is too heavy for the bone will start to atrophy under the plate. And if you've done some of these, a few of these, enough of these repairs, you have experienced this too. So my preference is to use maybe a lighter plate on the bone, a lighter repair technique rather than a really sturdy repair technique. But what I will do is I will help support my repair temporarily with this shortened splint. So maybe for the first 2 weeks post-op, I'll have the pet in a bandage, and I'll place this walking splint where they're fully walking on the paw, in order just to help give them a bit more support in those early healing days. I find by using a lighter repair technique, I actually don't have to go remove the plate from these pets after the fracture is healed. The other place I will use this shortened splint technique, or this walking splint technique, is if I am treating a radius ulnar fracture with a splint only, no repair, no plates. So I will first put them in a full splint where the paw is cradled and they just walk on that splint completely. And once I feel that there is sufficient strength in the healing, not that the bone is healed by any stretch of the imagination, I would not remove the splint, but I feel that there's enough healing in the bone. Depending on the pet's age, that could be as early as 4 weeks after I started splinting, sometimes 6 weeks. And then I will drop down to this shortened splint. So now they can actually walk on their paw. It will actually help the healing process, because you may recall that if you don't use a body part, it will atrophy. If you don't apply stress to the bone will start to atrophy. There's going to be less calcium. It's going to be lighter on your radiographs. But if you do allow some stress to reverberate up the bone itself, then that will help to stimulate bone production. Clearly, it's a bit of a balance between allowing some stress to be applied to the bone and yet having a sufficient amount of healing when you do that. Now, the one place where I wouldn't necessarily use this, or at least I'd be very cautious about using a shortened splint, would be in the metacarpal or metatarsal fractures. Why? Because those fractures are going to be directly adjacent to the metacarpal metatarsal pads where they're applying stress. So it's in my opinion, it's just a little bit too close to the fracture site. And I might be wrong about that, but it's just my feeling, so I don't use it there. So that means I would use this kind of shortened splint for a healing fracture of the radius or the tibia. I hope you found this video helpful. Please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel.